So we had a Democratic debate last night. It was hosted by the anchors, I believe, from PBS, but it was aired on PBS and on CNN. Gwen Ifill is one of the anchors. I forget the other one's name. Forgive me for that, but it was interesting. It was very interesting, and some parts, I think the questions were a little absurd. At times, you had Bernie Sanders hammering Hillary Clinton. I have to say that at times, I think the reverse happened too, where whether or not I agree with Hillary's arguments, I think she presented herself in a strong way at certain moments where your average viewer who might not know all the policy details might say, wow, Hillary really got him there. But either way, it was a fascinating night, and we can go ahead and take a look here at who won the debate. So when you go to the online polls, which is all the information that we have available to us at this moment, now granted these aren't scientific, but I do think they're worth something, Bernie Sanders won in a clean sweep. He wins Donald Trump style in debates. And what I mean by that is every Republican debate, if you looked at the snap polls afterwards, it was always Donald Trump by a tremendous margin, even when there were 8 people on stage or whatever it was. So with Bernie, we have the Time.com poll gives him 81%. Gigantic victory. On Slate, he also won 81%. On NewJersey.com, he had 81.62%. I love the specificity of that one. On Heavy.com, Bernie had 88%. All right, more. We have the Syracuse poll. 90% for Bernie. 90, goddamn. And then there was even a Fox poll. 94% Bernie won. So it appears to be unanimous. Now, I have to say that from my perspective, when I try to view it through the eyes of a Democratic voter who might not know as much about policy as we do, because we live this stuff day in and day out, I thought Bernie started really strong, and then I thought that by the end, Hillary closed real strong. Again, that's policy aside, that's more style than substance. But either way, the data that we have as of right now indicates that people seemingly believe that Bernie dominated throughout the entire thing. So the strategies I thought were starting to emerge, and I thought that Hillary kind of learned her lesson a little bit when she gave her concession speech in New Hampshire after she got her ass handed to her. And she basically came out there like, call me Bernie Sanders also. And she was hitting money in politics, and she was trying to sound more populist and more liberal. And I've always said that if she used that strategy from day one, the Me Too strategy with Bernie, she was going to win the election overwhelmingly because she already has higher celebrity recognition. So people who might not follow politics as closely are just going to default to her because she's also saying all those good things. It turns out that that's not necessarily the case. It turns out she's still kind of flailing everywhere, where half the time she's arguing against Bernie, she says, effectively, I'm the moderate, I'm the pragmatist, I'm going to get things done, you're too idealistic, you don't know how to work within the system, and, this is pie-in-the-sky, naive kind of stuff, and the numbers don't add up. That's made up too. But the idea is, I'm more centrist, I'm more pragmatic, I'll get stuff done, he won't. She says that half the time. And then the other half the time, on the same issues, she'll be like, no, me and Bernie Sanders have a vigorous agreement. And she'll say, no, I'm with him. So half the time she's like, no, we agree on money in politics. And then the other half the time she's like, money in politics? No, that doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. And I'm the moderate, I'm the pragmatist, so vote for me. So you got to pick one. You got to decide, hey, my strategy is going to be the pragmatist, moderate, faux centrism thing that works within the system. Or you can say, I want to go further than Bernie, and I'm just as liberal as Bernie, if not more liberal than Bernie. But she flip-flops. She's all over the place. There are times where she says, on Bernie's Wall Street plan, I want to go further than that. And then, again, the other half of the time, she's like, oh, this is too extreme. We got to be more pragmatic. Which is it? That's a contradiction, Hillary. That's a contradiction. So, for Bernie, his strategy is pretty clear, where he's, in some ways, pulling an Obama, in some ways being even stronger than Obama, because Obama came up from Hillary's left and was able to defeat her that way. Bernie's been consistent with his message from day one, and in order for him to win and really make a run at this thing, he just needs to keep doing exactly what he's doing, and his message needs to get out there. So the sad part of that and the downside of that, though, is he's reliant on the media to give him, a fair shot here and to actually cover him objectively and fairly, and that they've shown that they're not really going to do that. And he also has to rely on the American people and his support base to really get the word out there, because although he basically tied in Iowa and he won overwhelmingly in New Hampshire, moving forward here in Nevada and South Carolina, the most recent polls out of there have Hillary Clinton winning by a lot. And that's not because people don't like Bernie, it's that a lot of people don't fucking know Bernie. They don't know him. Again, you might think that's crazy. How can you not know him? This election has been going on for a while, and there's been so many debates. Not everybody's as big of a politico as you are, as big of a political junkie. So when you ask a run-of-the-mill Democratic voter in Nevada or South Carolina, they're just going to say, I don't know, I've heard the name Hillary before. She came second to Obama last time. She's been big in Democratic politics her whole life. Yeah, I guess I'd vote for her. That's kind of the reaction. So Bernie's doing the right strategy, but because the media is against him and the establishment is against him, it's harder for him to really get his message out there in any serious way. So a lot of it depends on the media coverage, which sucks. A lot of it depends on how strong his base gets out there. And they're doing a great job, but there's still a mountain to climb in front of them. And Bernie should stick with his strategy here of coming up from the left. And I would also, and he's been doing this pretty successfully, but I would also just continue to hit her with money in politics and continue to point out, hey, yeah, you have a super PAC. You know who doesn't? Me. You have a super PAC. You take money from the health industry. You take money from Wall Street. You take money from big money interests. The Clinton family takes money in every way imaginable, through the Clinton Foundation, through speeches, through campaign contributions, and through super PACs for them. I mean, they're so deep in corruption and legalized bribery that the way to take them down is to keep pointing that out. They want to use this as their advantage to get into the White House because they have the establishment backing them and they can raise all this money from big money people. Well, what Bernie's doing is he's saying, I'm going to take your strength and turn it into a weakness. Yeah, that helps you in this system. But if I keep pointing it out and showing how corrupt that is and how wrong that is and how you're not going to represent the people like that, that's something that resonates, man. So we'll see what happens moving forward here. A lot of people have been asking me on Twitter what my prediction is for Nevada and South Carolina. I'm not making it yet because it's not... if you notice, I like to make the predictions the day before or the day of, just before the elections, because you have to get up-to-the-minute information and data before you make an accurate prediction. So I predicted Iowa 100% right and New Hampshire 100% right. I can't predict yet what's going to happen in Nevada and South Carolina, but I can tell you that as of right now, if the election were today, Hillary would win and she would win comfortably in those states. So that shows you that while there is momentum for Bernie and he is doing the right things in the debates here, there's still a lot of work for his supporters to do, and the media's got to step up and cover him fairly, and that is one that, unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get. But we'll see. We got to withhold judgment, and I'll let you guys know what I think about those races when we're closer to those races, and I'll give you more specific predictions here. But as far as the debate goes, the people have spoken, and it's overwhelming that Bernie won.